Lifters have 60 seconds once the bar is loaded to get set up, get under the bar, and receive the command to begin the lift. During the squat, lifters need to start with their knees locked and listen for a squat command before beginning the squat. Any movement or wiggling around to get in position is totally acceptable until they receive that squat command. Once they receive the command, they need to descend until the top surface of their legs at the hip is lower than the top of the knees. After that, the rest is simple. Simply stand up with the weight to completion, making sure the knees are locked and you're motionless before receiving the rack command. There are a few common causes for a missed lift. One of the most common is that the lifter didn't squat deep enough. This is a red card. Or they started or finished the squat but their knees were still bent. This is a blue card. The other blue card is for beginning the ascent and double bouncing or descending a second time before completing the lift. Everything else is a yellow card, including losing balance and taking a step, racking the bar too early before receiving the rack command or beginning the squat too early, or intentionally using their elbows to leverage off their legs. Now you know the rules of the squat.
Good morning, hi, and welcome to day 2 of the USAPL Massachusetts State Championship. My name is Courtney, and I am going to be your host on the live stream today. This is our second day, our third session of the weekend. Lifters have been crushing it so far this week. And so right now you can see both of our platforms. On platform 1, we have Samantha Cohen, who's going to be opening up with 100 kg. So that is actually 220 pounds. And Alil is going to be opening up on platform 2 with 147.5 kilograms. So it's 325 pounds. So when it comes to your squat, there's certain commands that you need to wait for. So we can see Samantha and Aaliyah both here. You have to, once you unrack the weight, you need to wait for the squat command. And once you've completed the lift, you actually need to wait for the rack command. And a lot of times, especially on your first squat, it's a little bit hard to. And that looked like a good lift for Aaliyah and a good lift for Sam. And on deck, we have Susan. Susan with her first squat. I'm sorry, Daria. So Daria is actually part of the Northeastern powerlifting team. She's going to be opening up with 102.5 kilograms. We have Michael on platform 2 who's going to be opening up with 180. A lot of times with their first squat, you want it to be an attempt that you know that you're going to hit. Um, that way you at least get on the board, because if you scratch in any of the different lifts, so if you scratch on squat, bench, or dead, it actually disqualifies you from the meet. You can continue to lift, but unfortunately you won't be able to place or set records or anything like that. And that looked like a good lift for Daria. Yep, 3 white lights across the board. And a good lift from Michael as well. You can see on the bottom of the screen for you that there are 3 white lights that you'll see. Our athletes have done a great job at completing all their lifts, which is great, so we're seeing 3 white lights. You need at least 2 out of 3 white lights for the lift to count. All right, we have Susan on platform 1 who's opening up with 110 kg. And Ian on platform 2 with 182.5 keys. Wow, that's a big opener. So Susan actually trains out of her basement, which if you powerlift frequently, that's not unusual, but a good time, quite honestly. Sometimes it can be really hard to lift by yourself if she's lifting in her basement alone. And Ian is actually from Portland, Connecticut, so he's here as a guest, which you can see at the bottom. It says men's raw guest. So a lot of times people will use this meet to help qualify for nationals. USAPL nationals, you need to have competed and hit a qualifying total in a different USAPL meet in order to qualify. So like Ian, for example, so since he's from Connecticut, he can still compete here. He's just probably trying to hit that qualifying total. We have Rachel on platform 1 with 112.5 kg and Finnegan on platform 2 with 202.5. Good lift for Rachel. As well for Finnegan. Great job. Our lifters are doing a great job of having very solid openers. These openers are moving really fast. We have Lainey on platform 1 opening with 150 kilograms. And Kenny on platform 2 with 230. So Kenny actually trains out of Cambridge Strength and Conditioning, which is one of the local gyms. We've had a lot of lifters from there, a lot of lifters from Boston Barbell, Cambridge Strength, Urban Powerhouse. They've showed up at this meet, and it's been really great to see. So actually looking at the two lifters side by side now, you can see that they have different types of shoes on as well, and you can see different types of squat shoes are becoming more popular. So Lainey just absolutely crushed her opener in her lifts. So you can see her squat shoes do have like a little bit of an inch on there. Okay, and Kenny re-racked. He may have been given a statement from the referees. So Kenny has 5 seconds in order to get his squat command. You need to get your command before that timer runs out. And unfortunately, I don't know if he made it this time, but that weight moved so fast. Okay, and they gave it to him. That is great. So that moved very, very quickly. And Ben just completed his opener of 150 keys. That moved so well, I almost missed it. Anthony on platform 2 is another guest lifter. He's from New Jersey. So with USAPL states, Massachusetts states, you do need to be from Massachusetts in order to place. You don't need to be from Massachusetts to compete, which is why we have a couple lifters from out of state. Anthony's favorite lift is squat. So this might actually be pretty fun to see. We have Jalen on platform 1, opening up with 165 keys. Wow. I'm loving the purple singlet. That's a little bit of a newer one from A7. And she matched it with the purple undershirt too. An easy lift for Jalen. And the referees thought so as well. Sorry, I'm still waking up this morning in case you couldn't tell. Platform 1, we are already on to our second attempts. Wow. That was a clean 242 from Anthony. Our spotters and loaders have been absolutely crushing it this weekend. They have made the meet move so efficiently. Yesterday, so I was here in the morning yesterday, and they completed squats in a half hour, which is almost like insanely fast. Daria is taking her second attempt at 110 keys. She has some pretty cool socks on. If you can see, she has some flames. And Matt on platform 2 with 255. So 255 is actually 562 pounds. That is insane for an opener. And looked like a good lift for Daria. And a good lift for Matt as well. Wow, okay, and I actually just heard. So Matt just beat an American record. That's insane. So to beat an American record on your opener is very, very impressive. I hope he's proud of himself. Susan taking her second attempt at 115. So on the stream for platform 2, you can see that there's a white screen underneath the screen that has the timer. So on that screen is actually a little bit of a bio about each of the athletes, and I'm fortunate enough to have that in front of me as well. And that's how I'm able to give you guys such fun information about our athletes today. Oh, that looked a little high for Susan. Aleel's second attempt at 155 keys was unfortunately no lift. It was marked as red by our side judges. So we saw that he got 2 red lights, 1 white light, unfortunately no lift. And a good lift for Susan. When it comes to, when you can see, so I'm hoping we won't see any more. However, if an athlete does get a red light, you can see that there's a bar underneath that light. And all right, Samantha taking her second attempt at 120. Ian taking his second attempt at 197.5. And what I was saying, so there's a bar that goes underneath the red lights, and that will indicate exactly why the athlete may have gotten that red light. So we could see with Aleel, he got 2 reds, and underneath the reds was a red bar. And what that means is he likely was a little bit too high. And for your squat to count, your hip crease needs to be lower than your knee crease, and there needs to be no up and down movement when it comes to the bar. So like you can't bounce, essentially. It needs to be pretty clean. You can stagger. So if you end up pausing a little bit, especially as the weight gets heavier, sometimes you might stall out a little bit. That is allowed. However, you cannot have any up and down movement. We have Rachel on platform 1 with 122.5 kg as her second attempt. Rachel also trains out of her basement. I am loving all of these athletes that are working out of their homes. So impressive. And that looked like a good lift. She does a great job of hitting depth. So Michael is here as an equipped lifter. Usually that means that there's different equipment in terms of like what that athlete is possibly wearing to compete. So his squat doesn't seem to be a squat suit, but I'm wondering if he uses a shirt for bench. And unfortunately, it was a no lift for Michael. We can see those 3 red bars underneath that I talked about before. That means that he probably didn't hit depth. We've been on platform 1 with 157.5 keys as the second attempt, and platform 2 is getting ready for Finnegan at 215 kg. And as I was saying, so the difference realistically between a raw lifter and an equipped lifter is the equipment that the athlete may wear. As a raw lifter, you can wear wrist wraps, a belt, knee sleeves, and obviously your singlet, and realistically whatever shoes you prefer. There isn't too many restrictions around the shoe choice that you wear. But when you're an equipped lifter, you do have some equipment that may be a little bit more of an external support when it comes to your lift. So they make like squat suits, which can add tens of hundreds, like can add so much weight to your squat. They make bench shirts, which almost make you walk around like a zombie. It's like a giant elastic shirt. All right, Lainey taking her second attempt at 160 keys. So this is 352.74 pounds. Ooh, that moved very, very fast. I love too, you can see the different techniques that every athlete has. Some athletes like to go nice and slow to make sure that they hit their depth and then really explode out. Other athletes like to essentially bounce. So a fast descent, and they make sure they almost bounce out of that hole and then get right back up. All right, platform is ready for Kenny at 242.5 kilograms, and Jalen on platform 1 at 172.5. Wow, so Kenny is 19 years old. That's insane. He is lifting some crazy weight for being a teenager. Oh, get up, get up, get up. Wow, that is insanely impressive. And that looked like easy work for Jalen. I would love if she went up like 7.5 kilograms at least for her third attempt. And we are already on to third attempts in our first flight. I'm sorry, for platform 1. So platform 1 is moving very quickly. So Daria's third attempt is already over her personal record. So according to what I have, Daria's best squat was 110 kg, and now she's taking 5 kilograms over that. So that's around 10 additional pounds. And I hope you guys can hear it a little bit. The Northeastern powerlifting team always shows up and shows out for their lifters. They were going insane yesterday for the athletes that competed, and they are back at it again today. Ooh, get up. That looked like nothing. Yeah, she's shaking her head. That felt good. That was a good lift for Daria. I think she had a little bit more in the tank. And Anthony about to take 257.5. and a good lift for Anthony. He seems like a really methodical lifter, like nice, slow, and controlled. Um, Different athletes always have different styles to their lifting. Some come in nice and pumped. Susan came in fist bumping all our spotters and loaders before she goes to take her final attempt at 120. And this is going to match her best lift, or her best squat record. I apologize. Okay, and Matt is coming in again. Oh, come on, push, Susan, push. Matt coming in, going to break his own record yet again. And it was a good lift for Susan. All right, come on, push, 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 push. All right, and it was a good lift for Matt. So sometimes from the angle that we can see, it can look a little bit different than what the judges can see. And thankfully, that's why we rely on 3 judges. There's 1 judge on each side of the athlete. We can see Tate, who's on platform 2, just chilling there. And we have, well, I'm sorry, he's not chilling there. He's doing his job. And we have another we have another referee who is going to be at the front, and that is the referee that gives the commands. And Rachel's third attempt at 127.5. Good drive. That was a great lift for Rachel. And Alil right here retaking his second attempt. You can also see the different types of techniques in where athletes put the bar on their back. So you can see Alil has a little bit of a high bar, which means it goes almost like right over his shoulders, right below his neck. And some athletes will put the bar much lower to be underneath their shoulders. So you can't see the top of the bar when they lock in. And Samantha here taking her third attempt at 135. So you can see Sam is also a high bar lifter, and that was a great third attempt for Sam. Looked pretty easy. But her favorite lift is bench press, so maybe she's saving some big numbers for that. Ian taking his third attempt at 207.5 kilograms. And a good lift for Ian. We got Lainey taking her third attempt. Perfect. So she did go up 7.5. She is her third attempt is 167.5. And the crowd is going wild for her. Lainey has absolutely blown away her personal bests. So, like she must have gotten significantly better at lifting. Finally found what works for her. Drive, drive, drive. Wow, that was good. Oh, and she looks so happy. That was a great lift for Lainey. All right, platform 2 is waiting for Michael. He's going to be retaking his second attempt at 210 keys. Now, if you do unfortunately end up failing a lift, so you don't get your second attempt or you don't get an attempt, you can retake that number or you can still go up. There is absolutely nothing that says you have to retake the same number that you took. You cannot, unfortunately, go down. So because Michael didn't get 210, he can't go down to 207.5. But if he wanted to, he could have gone up to like 212. Benjamin's third attempt at 170 keys. And a good lift for Ben. And a good lift for Michael as well. He also had a 30 key jump is very big. So that's around 60 pounds. So I'm sorry, that's more than 60 pounds, but very, very impressive. Jalen taking her third attempt at 180 keys. And Finn taking his third attempt at 225. All right, so Finn has a slight delay on his. He got under the bar, and it seems like it was probably a little bit too high for him. Oh, come on. Oh my gosh, nothing. Jalen, put some weight on the bar. My goodness. That was insane. I cannot wait to see what she does today. And platform 1 is already on to our second flight of the day. Oh, push, 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 push. Wow. That looked like a great lift for Finn. And it was. So Jacqueline is here taking her first attempt at 117.5 keys. Kenny is about to take his third attempt at 250 keys. And a good easy lift for Jackie. So you can see there's a timer at the bottom of each screen of each platform. And what that timer means is once the bar is loaded and the bar is ready, the athlete is given a bars loaded command or statement, and that is when the timer starts. And so the athlete has 1 minute from when that timer starts to be given the command to begin the lift. Danielle on platform 1, opening up with 122.5 keys. Get up. Easy lift for Danielle. And Kenny's third attempt is over 500 pounds. And he had crazy depth, but unfortunately maybe just go a little too deep into the hole. And it was a no lift for Kenny, but he is still on the board, which is still very impressive. So we have Matt McCoy taking his third attempt at 267.5. Denise on platform 1, opening up at 135 keys. And an easy lift for Denise. And the refs thought so too. She is on the board. What I love seeing about these local meets, so like Massachusetts State Championship, is you see such a variety of lifters. So, for example, Denise, who we just saw on platform 1, is a master lifter. And right now we have the platform is ready for Caitlin, who's a junior lifter. Powerlifting has become so popular in Massachusetts. It's really great to see how many athletes are trying out this sport and really going crazy and loving it. So Caitlin is opening up at 145 keys, and Matt about to take his third attempt at 267.5. And good lift for Caitlin. And Matt's favorite lift is squat, so he is in his element right now. That looked like a good lift. Let's see what the refs think. And it was a good lift. Okay, so we can see the center referee gave him a blue light. Give me 1 second and I will tell you guys what that blue light means. Emma on platform 1, opening up at 157.5. And Anthony taking the final squat of the flight, excuse me, the flight on his platform at 272.5. That is an insane jump. But, you know, if he has it in the tank, he has it in the tank. This is going to be a PR for Anthony. And Sarah Romano on platform 1, opening up at 172.5. Oh, push and push. He looks so hyped. I would be too. That was a great freaking lift. Well done. So Sarah is actually a friend of mine. We used to train together. She is an awesome lifter, an awesome mom, and getting back into powerlifting, absolutely crushing the game. And that was a very solid opener for Sarah. And we have our second flight starting on platform 2. So Alex is going to be opening with 140 keys. And Dustin on platform 1 opening up at 177.5. So Dustin trains out of Center City Gym, and he's actually taking his personal best as his opener, so he probably had some crazy stuff in the tank. And unfortunately, no lift for Dustin, so he got red and blue cards. The red meaning that he probably had a form breakdown there, so did not hit depth. And I'm trying to multitask, but I will find what a blue card means in a second. David Whelan on platform 1 opening up at 185. And Josh on platform 2 opening up at 165. So Josh is a guest lifter. He's from New York. And David is another one of our lifters out of Cambridge Strength. And a good lift for David. And a good lift for Josh. John on platform 1 opening up with 220 keys. Reese on platform 2 opening up with 172.5. Okay, so I apologize for the wait on that. So usually a blue card on squat is some sort of technical failure. So for example, when you will not be given the squat command or the rack command until you are fully locked out. So you can see on John, he had a full knee lockout before he was told to give the rack command. It was a good lift. And a good lift for Reese. Wow. Emily is opening with 222.5 kilograms. Her favorite lift is squat. I'm very excited to see what she'll put on the board today. It looks like she has a fun little powerlifting tattoo on her shin there. I'm curious what it is. I can definitely see the barbell. Oh, clean. I can see why she is a squat, or why squat is her favorite. I'm wondering if she's a squat specialist. Lewis on platform 1, opening up at 175. And unfortunately, no lift for Lewis. Looks like he maybe didn't hit depth on that. Danielle taking, we are already on our second attempts. So Danielle taking 130. So Danielle trains out of 2 different gyms. She trains out of Back Bay Fit and Fit Factory in Braintree. And a good lift for Danielle. Charles is about to take his opener at 197.5 keys. So Charles is from Richmond, Virginia, but he says his gym is BC Rec Center. So he must, my assumption is he probably goes to Boston College and trains out of the gym there and competes. So very cool that he is here competing. Jackie taking her second attempt at 135. And it was a good lift for Charlie. Max opening up at 220 keys. And a good lift for Jackie. She is hyped. Max has the matching set where he brought his knee sleeves match his singlet. Denise coming in taking 142.5 for her second attempt. I'm always a big fan of the style that you can almost bring into powerlifting. There are some restrictions on what you can wear, obviously. That moved like nothing for Max. And that looked like a good lift for Denise as well. Okay, and unfortunately it was a no lift for Max. So it looks like probably a depth issue, but that moved very fast. I wouldn't be surprised if he still went up for his second. Hao Chen opening up at 245 kilograms. Holy smokes. Caitlin taking 152.5 as her second attempt. So there are certain rules and regulations around the equipment that you can wear in powerlifting. When you are squatting and benching, you need to have a undershirt, as all of our athletes have on right now, because you cannot have skin touching the bar. So that's that undershirt. You must also wear a singlet, and there are a couple brands that have become very, very popular. So like obviously there's like SBD, which has been around for a long, long time, and A7, which is a little bit of a newer one, but has been significantly supportive to powerlifting and has offered a large variety of colors, quite honestly, pretty recently. We have Emma on platform 1 with her second attempt at 170. So we can see some, actually what's great you can see right now with these two athletes was two very different types of lifting styles. Emma has the bar a little high on her back, while we can see how Chen has it a little bit lower. It was a great lift for both of them, good lift on the board. So Dustin is retaking his his opener at 177.5. I think right now he's probably just trying to get onto the board because like I said earlier, if you do not make any of the attempts on any of your lifts, you can continue to compete but would be scratched from the meet, so would not be able to place. So I think this is more just a like get his name on the board, just make sure that he can continue to go. Brian opening up at 265 keys. Holy. Okay, so Dustin was asked to re-rack. May have been he didn't have his knees locked out, but he still has a little bit of time to be given that command. And a good lift for Brian. Oh, hit it. Okay, and no lift for Dustin, so he was a little bit high still. Your hip crease needs to be below parallel. Sometimes, depending on the federation or depending on the referee, that discretion can change. But to hit below, so some referees, if you hit directly parallel, that's fine, that's good. Others, they make sure that you are getting below and can be very, very strict. Sarah taking her second attempt at 182.5. Wiley opening up at 280 keys. That's insane. Push, Sarah, come on. Good lift. Good fight. And it was a good lift for Sarah. Wow. Ooh, ooh. So it looked like, yeah, so unfortunately no lift for Yili. Okay. And so he got a yellow card underneath, and that usually means that you missed one of the calls. So we could see with Yili, he moved so quickly that he lost his balance. And a good lift for David at 195 keys. And we are on to second attempts on platform 2. Alex with his second attempt at 150 keys. So it sounds like Alex is also part of the Northeastern powerlifting team. 230 kilos, that's absolutely insane. That is 507 pounds as a second attempt. That is beyond impressive. And unfortunately, no lift for Alex. But thankfully, our spotters and loaders are right there to make sure all of our athletes are safe. And that was a good lift for Emily, smoking 500 pounds, over 507. John taking his second attempt at 235 keys, and Josh on platform 2 with 175. So maybe different than commercial gyms, with all of our spotters and loaders here, it is absolutely required that a lifter stay with the bar even when they feel like they may not make the lift. With training at commercial gyms or if you train on your own, come on. And that was a good fight for Josh. Unfortunately, just didn't have it in the tank. And unfortunately, no lift for John either, probably on depth. So Lewis is going to be retaking his opener at 175. And Danielle is taking her third attempt at 140 keys. This will be a personal record for Danielle. And Lewis trains out of his garage. Come on, Lewis. And a good lift for Lewis, so he is officially on the board. And a good lift for Danielle. She is hyped. Good for her. That was awesome. And Reese taking his second attempt at 185. Platform 1 getting ready for Jackie's third attempt at 142.5 keys. So Jackie seems to have a fun design on her belt. I think it's stripes, like little diagonal, like a candy stripe. Come on, Reese. Clean. So Reese does have a little bit of a sticking point in his squat, and that is okay to have. And a good push through. I would call that a very good second attempt. And a good lift for Danielle. Charlie's second attempt coming at 207.5. And platform 1 getting ready for Denise at 147.5 keys. Yeah, I'd say when it comes to like choosing attempts and things like that, I'd say your first attempt is always one that you want to make sure you're gonna hit. Like that it's one that you've hit in training multiple times that you are very comfortable with, just so that you can make sure you're on the board. Your second attempt should be one that is a little bit of a struggle. Like you have to try. While your third attempt is really one that might be a personal best for you or just one that you really need to grind. And there's that grind for Denise. And three white lights. She crushed it. 147.5. And a good lift for Charlie. All right, so we can see on platform 2, that's exactly like what we were talking about earlier. Max is still going up to 232.5 despite not making his opener. Um, I believe he got technical. Oh no, I'm sorry. I think he just missed depth on his opener, but he knew he had it and it moved so well that he doesn't need to worry. Caitlin on platform 1 going up 5 kgs for her third attempt. Go, Katie. She is so excited. And a good lift for Katie. And 3 white lights for Max, so that was a good lift and honestly a good call to still go up. So Dustin has gone up for his third attempt. He needs to make this to stay in the meet. He'll still be able to compete, but if he wants to place, he needs to make sure that he hits depth on this squat. Platform 2. Wow. So Hao Chen, second attempt at 260 keys. Right up. Good up, get up, get up, get up. Oh yeah, okay. Wow, that was a good lift for Dustin. So that is such a mental battle. He looks so relieved. There is nothing more mentally challenging than failing your first 2 attempts and knowing that you really need to get that third attempt to stay in. Emma taking her third attempt at 182.5. Push, push, push. Wow. And 3 white lights for Hao Chen. Ooh. And unfortunately, no lift for Emma. Yeah, her hip crease was she was just a little bit too high. But she's on the board. She can continue to go. All right, Brian coming in with his second attempt at 280. And bars loaded for Sarah with her final attempt at 190. Get up. Come on. And a good lift for Brian. And a good lift for Sarah. Sarah just matched her PR. Yeah, so Yili has gone up to 295 keys. So Yili's favorite gym is the basement at Engine 83 or Ladder 29, so he must be a firefighter. So good on him for coming to Massachusetts, competing in this meet. He's probably training while on duty, which is always really hard. And David taking his final attempt at 205 keys. Oh, come on. And unfortunately, no lift for David. He was a little bit high. And a good lift for Yili. See, like, I see numbers like that. 295 keys is absolutely insane. And so, quite honestly, if that was the firefighter that came into whatever burning building I was in, I would be completely confident that he'd get the job done. He could probably bust down the walls, quite honestly. So Alex is coming in, retaking his second attempt as his final attempt of 150 keys. And Emily taking, this is going to be a personal best for her at 235. So this is 2.5 keys heavier than she's ever done. Get up, push, 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 push. She seems hyped. Let's see what the judges, and unfortunately no lift. So it was just a little bit, she just didn't hit the depth, and she had it. That was right there, and she probably is going to get that the next time she competes. John is retaking his third attempt at 235 kilograms. This is 15 keys heavier than his personal best. Come on, Alex. Push, 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 push. At least from our angle, Alex's depth looked good. And the refs think so too, so that was a good lift for Alex. John is slow and methodical, making sure that the weight feels good on his back. Come on. Ooh. And Josh on platform 2 retaking 175. And unfortunately no lift for John. So platform 1 is actually all done with squat this morning. And they're going to start getting ready for bench. So I am going to change our screen so that we are only focused on platform 2 right now. We have our last couple of lifters finishing here. So Lewis has gone up to 182.5 keys for his third attempt. He's getting himself hyped up. Come on, Lewis. He really attacks the bar when he gets underneath. Get himself hyped. Come on. Get up, get up, get up. And it was a good lift for Lewis. He is hyped. Reese taking his third attempt of 190 keys. So this is 418 pounds. All right, come on, Reese. Okay, come on. Reese does a great job taking his time to make sure that he feels ready and not letting the clock or the external factors really affect his lift. And it was a good lift for Reese. So at the bottom of the screen as well, we can see we have our SBD, so squat, bench, dead, and that will give us the athlete's total, which will be pretty exciting. So right now we know that Charles' best has been 207.5 for the meet. He's now going to try 212. This is 468 pounds. Sometimes it can be really hard to kind of like tune out everything around you when you're squatting or when you're competing, quite honestly. And so some people thrive on that. Other people really need to let it all out. Come on. And that was a good fight for Charles. Let's see what the refs think. And a good lift for Charles. So in USAPL, your placement is determined based on a dot score. And so dot is, I don't know the exact equation quite honestly, but it is your body weight with the weight that you've lifted, as well as your gender and your age. So it counts in a lot of factors. So if you're coming in as a master's lifter versus a teen or an open, that does contribute to what your final dot score may be. And so we might see, like, some of our athletes might come in and lift absolutely insane numbers, like Max here, who's about to do 242.5. Ooh, so Max has a very fast descent, but that causes no problems for him because he just got 3 white lights, no issue. How Chen, 270. That is 595 pounds. So if he makes this squat, this will push him from 4th place to 3rd place. And it's still very early in the meet. There's still plenty of time to figure out all the details of that. Um, but sometimes it's fun to see how the weights that you lift can change your placement in the meet. He's getting himself hyped up. All right, come on, Hao Chen. Push, push, push. And unfortunately, it was no lift for Hao Chen. I always love when the lifters make sure to thank their spotters and loaders, whether it's just like a fist bump or saying thank you or whatever. It's the spotters and loaders work so hard through the whole meet, and like it is very taxing. Like they are constantly changing the height rack, putting the rack arms in, out, putting weights on, and the collar. Then it's constant moving, and so it is very fatiguing. And it's always good to appreciate the people who help make this meet run, especially because all of these spotters and loaders and all of the people at the meet today are actually volunteers. So Brian taking 290. So this is 639, giving a fist bump to his spotters and loaders. It's like he heard me or something. Some lifters also like to do it because it helps hype them up a little bit, kind of like get get energized. All right, come on, Brian. This is much heavier than his personal best. Push, drive, 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 drive. Get those hips out. Okay, and unfortunately, no lift for Brian. I think he almost had it. I think he's going to have that the next time he competes. Yeah, so as I was saying, all of our referees, all of our volunteers, spotters, loaders, are all volunteers. So nobody is paid to be here. And Eric Cordero, who's the meet director, does a fantastic job hosting and running this meet. He is also the head coach at Boston Latin School Powerlifting. He's also a teacher there. He is so involved with the powerlifting community in Massachusetts. It's great to see. We had a ref come in just to quickly remove that. 315 keys. This is 694 pounds. All right, come on. Yili also lifts in flats, which is becoming more popular. A lot of athletes like how it, or a lot of lifters like how it makes them feel more grounded. Drive. That looked good, at least from our angle. Let's see what the referees think. And 3 white lights for Yili. Insane. Insane. So we have just finished our squats for today, and we are about to take a 10-minute break as our lifters and our spotters and loaders get ready for bench. So I will see you guys again in 10 minutes. All right, guys, so we are back for the start of bench. So we have Susan, who's going to be opening bench on platform 1 with 52.5 kg. And when it comes to bench attempts, there are 3 different commands that you have to wait for, which makes bench pretty technical. So there's once you've unracked the weight, there's the start command, bench, and then rack. So what that means is once you're in position, you're ready to rock and roll, you'll get the start command. So they need to see your elbows completely locked out, your bum on the bench, feet planted, your heels can't be elevated or anything like that. You'll get that start command, and that's when you can really begin your bench. They need to see it touch your chest in a nice, slow, and controlled manner, and then you will be given the press command to lift it up. And once they see your elbows completely locked out again, that's when you'll get the rack command. It can be really easy to jump that rack command, especially like if you've just hit a great PR, you feel really good about yourself, that like you feel hyped, which honestly, once you've completed the lift, it's so easy to be like, oh, it's done, it's over, I've done it. And having to hold on for one more second just to get that rack command and make sure that you fully got it, especially because you've already done all the hard work. It's just waiting for that final second. So here we have Susan. She is about to go at 52.5 keys. And unfortunately, no lift for Susan. So she got yellow, and for bench, that means that there was either a sinking in the bar um, or she missed one of the commands. Um, so Rachel is coming in with her opener at 72.5 kgs. So what's tough too, especially on bench, is it can be very easy to almost want to hover the bar on your chest. It doesn't. You do need to see it tap, um, and it cannot be a touch and go that like you might do in training. It needs to be completely on your chest. You can't rest it essentially, so you can't do. It would be called a heaving motion, and what that means is you've let the bar really sink into your chest before you've almost done a hitching motion to get it back up. And that was a good lift for Rachel. And right now we are actually able to see two of our judges. Two of our referees. So we can see our head judge, head referee. I apologize. That referee is responsible for giving the commands. And I mean, with your head on the bench, you're not able to necessarily see the hand motions that that ref is giving. So we need to make sure that the ref is loud, and the ref needs to make sure that they are loud, and you really need to be tuned into listening. So in USAPL, compared to other federations, you you can get a lift off. However, it needs to be one of the spotters and loaders. In some other federations, your coach or your handler can give you your lift off. So we've seen Daria here giving some nice suggestions to our handler about what she needs in order for for her lift off to feel well. All right, and we have on platform 2, we have about 5 minutes before that starts, so just for my own sanity, I'm making sure both are up so I don't miss anybody, because the last thing I want is for you guys to miss any of the openers. We have Jalen on platform 1, who's about to take her first attempt at 97.5 keys. So there are a couple ways on how you might fail this lift, and hopefully we don't see anybody fail, especially on the openers. But if you jump any of the commands, so if you jump any of the 3 commands, which when there's 3, that's more opportunity, right? So making sure that you don't miss those. Then if your bum picks off the bar before you're ready. So if while you're pressing the bar up, they see, if either of our side referees see air or like see light from your bum to the bottom of the bench, and unfortunately would be no lift. So Jalen got 2 white lights, so it's still a good lift. Laney opening up with 102.5. Wow. So that is actually 220, almost 226 pounds. That is insanely impressive. And she's opening up above her weight class. We don't know the exact body weights of the athletes. You can actually see that on Lifting Cast if you're watching. But to open up with a weight that's above your body class is very, very impressive. I'm sorry, your weight class. And a good lift for Lainey. So something else that we should be looking for as well is we could see that she had a little bit of a slow pace when she was pushing the bar up. If You can have one arm completely extend prior to the other. So if your left arm fully locks out before your right, that is okay. There just can't be any up down motion of the bar. With any of our lifts, there can't be any up down motion. So Samantha coming in, taking her favorite lift, opening up with 105 keys. And that was a clean 231. Sorry, 231.49 for Samantha. Ben opening with 107.5. Our spotter doing a great job of asking each lifter if they want the handoff. Lifters have the option of saying yes or no, and if you don't want it for one lift and decide you want it for the next, or one attempt versus another attempt, that is also completely allowed. And we are already on second attempts on platform 1. Holy smokes. All right, so Suzanne is coming and retaking her opener, probably just making sure to get on the board. With bench especially, we aren't going to see as insane jumps as we saw in squat. Just because of like muscle components and things like that. 2.5 kilos or 5 pounds can feel a lot heavier than the 30-pound jumps that we were seeing with squat. And platform 1 is going to be starting in about 1 minute. Come on, Susan. That looked very easy. And she got 3 white lights. Perfect. We didn't see too much of this yesterday, but with these lifters, we are seeing a few more use their belt on their bench. I haven't seen this, honestly, until recently, in the past couple of years. But it does help get that, like, thoracic, like, abdominal pressure that you might want, especially when you need to have everything so locked in for bench. There's also some lifters that will have a significantly bigger arch. And that arch, because essentially the bar just needs to touch your chest at its highest point. Get up. And an easy second attempt for Rachel. Daria coming in with her second attempt of 80 kg. But yeah, so some lifters will have a very high arch when it comes to their bench, but as long as your bum and your heels stay on the ground, that is completely fine. Alil coming with his opener on platform 2 at 60 kg. I love seeing too the different types of grips that athletes have. So Alil comes in no wrist wraps with a close grip and makes 60 look like absolutely nothing. And Daria has a wider grip, as we can see, wrist wraps. And that honestly just has to do with what muscles are a little bit stronger and can help capitalize on the lift more. Push, push, push. Come on, Daria, push. That and a good lift for Daria. Well done. So Ranveer is our bench-only lifter. He is opening up with 110 kilograms. And he is part of Boston University Powerlifting. So he's a BU student. Lainey coming in to take her second attempt on platform 1 with 105 keys. So personally, I know when I like to lift, I don't like a handoff just because I don't train with one. And so I like making sure I can feel the weight through my whole lift. Other athletes like using a handoff a lot just because it gives you the opportunity to get into the position that you need. And unfortunately, no lift for Laney for yellow, and no lift for Ronvier. If I watched correctly, I do believe he skipped um, his commands. So he moved very quickly, and kind of like what we talked about before, I think he got so hyped of how well that moved that he didn't wait for the press command or the rack command. And Jalen coming in, taking her second attempt at 105 keys. Michael opening up with 115 keys on platform 2. Sorry, on platform 2. And that's that equipped equipment like we were talking about. He has what's called a bench shirt on. And so hopefully we can see it when he comes off. Ooh. That looked like a good lift for Jalen. And unfortunately, no lift for Jalen. It might have been a little bit too sinking, but a good lift for Michael. I am not an equipped lifter, but what I have been told is it is much harder for the centric motion when it comes to equipped lifting. So if you're using a squat suit, it's much harder to get down. And when you're using a bench shirt, it's much harder to bring the bar down to your chest. Sam jumping up 10 kg, that is very impressive. She is taking 115 keys as her second attempt. And Finnegan opening up with 117 keys. Wow. And a good lift for Sam. And a good lift for Finnegan. Holy crap. Some of the jumps that these athletes are taking is very, very impressive to me. So he jumped up 12 and a half keys. So that's about 25 pounds or so. He's taking 120 as his second attempt. And bar is loaded and ready for Ian to take 135 as his opener. Mm-hmm. Come on, Ben. Okay, so unfortunately, a little bit too heavy. My parents are listening to the live stream, and I want to apologize for saying holy crap. So, we are a family friendly federation and try and keep my language as professional as possible, but sometimes these lifts just really get you going. So, Susan taking her final attempt, so we are already on third attempts with going up 2.5 kg, and I would say that's a smart move for Susan. She's going to be taking 55. Anthony is opening up with 140 keys. He's requested a liftoff. Susan's trying to lock in her belt, seems to be struggling a little bit, but she got it and still has plenty of time. A speedy lift for Anthony. Come on, Susan. That looked very good for Susan as well. Let's see what the refs think. And unfortunately, no lift. So I'm not too sure why. It could have been that she heaved a little bit. It's a little bit hard to see from this angle. Kenny coming in with his opener of 140 keys. This is another great example of the longevity of the sport. We have Kenny on platform 2, who is a raw teen 3, so he's 18 to 19. I believe we already found out he's 19 years old. And we have Rachel on platform 1 who's a Master 1. So she's somewhere between 40 and 49 years old. Um, Yesterday morning, in specific, we had an athlete who was a Master 4. So she was between 70 and 79 years old. And you can be as young as 14 or 15 competing in powerlifting. And so it's just great to see that like some of these athletes who have been competing for that long, or some of these athletes that are finding this sport early in their life or later in life and loving it. Daria coming in with her third attempt of 82.5 keys, and Matt opening up with 167.5. So this is 396 pounds. Let's see what the refs think. And 3 white lights. Wow, he is showing up and showing out today. Daria getting ready for her third. Nice, slow, and controlled. And unfortunately, it was just not enough. She might have just lost a little bit of tension. Bench is such a technical lift that you need to be so locked in. Everything needs to stay very, very tight in order to complete the lift. We are on second attempts on platform 2. Alil jumping up 5 keys, taking 65, which I think is very smart. His opener moved very, very fast, and Lainey is retaking her second attempt of 105 kilograms. Regardless, this would be a PR for her. And a good lift for Alil. What's fun is he doesn't even wait for the lights. He just kind of is like, yep, got it, and moves on. Ranveer is retaking his opener of 110. Come on, Lainey. She's locked in. We can see her elbows are completely locked out. She waits till she gets the command to do that brace. Push. Come on, Lainey. Push, 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 drive. Oh, and unfortunately, no lift for Lainey, but she is still in the meet because she got her opener of 102.5. Jalen is also retaking her second attempt of 105 keys. All right, come on, Ranveer. She's smiling. I love it. She has no wrist wraps on, which I think is very impressive a lot of the time. I'm a big fan of using my wrist wraps on bench just because it makes my wrists feel more stable between my hand and my arm. And it was a good lift for Ranveer, so he is officially on the board. Ooh, ooh, oh my gosh. That moved so well for Jalen, and it was a good lift with 2 white lights. Ben retaking his second attempt of 120. Finnegan taking his second attempt of 125. Yeah, so Finn doesn't use a handoff and has a very quick descent with the bar. Nice and controlled. He has 2 white lights, so that's a good lift. Come on, Ben. Drive, 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 drive. Yeah, and unfortunately no lift for Ben. He had a little bit of a downward motion, so the refs called it. But again, he is still on the board, which is great with 107.5 keys. Sam taking her third attempt of 120 keys. Ian with his second attempt of 142.5. So 142 is almost 315 pounds. And wow, 120 is 264.55 pounds. This will be a personal record for Sam. And an easy lift for Ian. Come on. And a good lift for Sam. I hope I think she's smiling. You can see her cheeks a little bit, but I think she's happy with that. I would be very happy with that, quite honestly. That was very impressive. And we are already on to our second flight on platform 1. Anthony taking 147.5 keys as his second attempt. Danielle opening up with 60 keys. Danielle is part of Team Determined. Anthony is part of Team VLLN. And a good lift for Anthony. Jackie opening up with 62.5 keys. So Kenny is taking the same weight at 147.5 keys on platform 2. And an easy lift for Jackie. That looked like a good lift for Kenny. And 3 white lights, so easy. Oh, okay. I needed to remind myself that Michael is a equipped lifter. So he's gone up 35 keys, which is insanely. That is quite a lot. So 35K is 77 pounds. 150 keys is 330. So he's made quite a jump, which makes a lot of sense. And you can see that shirt that we were talking about, which is essentially like a giant elastic. So he's going to have the same thing where his descent should be nice and slow, and then he should honestly fire this right up out of the hole. Caitlin taking her opener of 75 keys. This is around 164 pounds. Yep, and there's that super fast descent. Well done. And that was a record for him, and I believe an American record as well. Denise also opening up with 75 keys. Matt taking his second attempt of 170. This is only 2 kilograms off of his personal record. Oh, I feel so fancy. The legendary Mr. Cordero just came back here to give me a staff badge and a new A7 lanyard, and I'm very excited to wear both of them. Oh, come on, Matt, come on. And a good record and good bench and record for Matt. Sarah opening up with 85 keys. Easy lift for Sarah. And we are on to third attempts of our first flight on platform 1. Platform 2. So Alil is about to take his third attempt of 37.5 keys. And so this is actually the first time we've seen it, which is great. Great for you guys to see. So Emily requested the boxes, which the great thing about the Eleiko racks is the bench essentially locks into the rack. So you always know that the bench is going to be in the middle of the rack, which can be tough to do in other places. That looked like a good lift. Yep, good lift for Alil. And unfortunately, I mean, lifters are different heights. It's I think I'm in the same boat as Emily. I don't have long legs. And so sometimes the box can be very helpful to make sure that my feet feel stable on the ground. Unfortunately, no lift for Emily. She got a yellow card on that, which could mean many reasons possible, heaving or she missed a call. Ranveer has gone up 7.5 keys, so he's taking his final attempt of 117.5. Emma is opening up with 105 keys. I am so impressed with the bench weights that these female lifters are doing. As a female lifter myself, I know how hard it can be to increase bench weight and really break some of the numbers. And that looked like a good lift for Emma. Yep, and it was. Like personally, I'm stuck right at 220, and I want that 225 so badly. I'm talking about pounds here. And then all of a sudden, Emma comes in, and her opener is 231 pounds. Oop, Ranveer hit the rack. Let's see if that affects his lift at all. And it was a good lift for Ranveer. Dustin opening with 117.5 keys. Finn taking his third attempt. He's jumped up 2.5 keys to 127.5. David opening up with 122.5. Now, if I'm seeing the shirt right, which it's a little blurry from the live stream, but I believe David is part of Team Bonvec, and so his coach is there in the background. They're a local club. He trains out of Cambridge Strength, and that was a good lift for Finnegan. Good lift for David. Ian in taking his third attempt of 150 keys. And John opening up with 175 keys on platform 1. Come on, Ian. Now, what I always think is really fun is Eric Cordero does a great job of making the Massachusetts state themes always related to Massachusetts, which is always really exciting. So a good lift for Ian. He's going to finish his bench with 150. And Anthony on platform 2 taking the same weight. So this year you can see it's white, red, and blue. You can see like there's like the almost like a spoon with the red 45-pound plate and the 25 because it's the year 2025. And it's actually designed after Fluff, which is a Massachusetts what is it called? A marshmallow spread. So Fluff was made in Massachusetts, and so Eric always does a great job of finding different foods that were created here and making sure that the theme of the meet matches that. So last year the theme was like Necco wafers, and the year before was actually Dunkin' Donuts. So it's always fun to see because he doesn't always come out and say it. John opening up with 175 keys. And we are waiting for Anthony to take his third attempt of 150. So he has 10 seconds, so he might just decide not to take it. And some lifters will do that where instead of taking the... Unfortunately, it was a no lift for John. He got a blue card. So we've talked about the yellow card. The blue card means that there was a downward motion when he went to press the bar up, or he didn't fully lock his elbows out before getting the command. If I'm hearing, so we have an announcer who's in with the lifters right now. If I'm hearing him correctly, I've been mispronouncing Kanya's name wrong, and I apologize for that. So Kanya is taking 155 keys as his third attempt. We have Danielle on platform 1 taking 65 as her second. And that looked like, yep, and it was a good lift for Danielle. She's hyped about that. That is matching her personal best. Ooh, that moved very fast for Kanya. And a good lift. So yeah, so I apologize. What we were talking about before is sometimes if you've already got it on the board, and it's all strategy, quite honestly, when it comes to powerlifting meets. And so sometimes if you decide to not, if you're happy with the number that you got, if you got like 147 on your bench and you're like, no, I'm good with that, you can decide to scratch an attempt. And a good lift for Jackie on platform 1 was 67.5 keys. And that can be all strategy. Sometimes it's just not really worth the exertion to do that third attempt to go up. Other times it could be maybe you tweaked something on your second attempt, so you don't want to do that third. And if you're already on the board, you really don't need to worry about it. It's all about the end game. Oh, drive, 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 drive. Okay, and unfortunately that was a no lift for Mike, just a little bit too heavy. So I know nothing about equip lifting, but Eric Cordero has taught me, or told me a lot about equip lifting. He is an elite equip lifter. He won bench nationals this past year. And so what he's explained to me previously was when you wear a bench shirt, if you aren't super engaged, if like your lats aren't engaged enough, it can push you up. The shirt can push you up and back. And so it's really hard to control that backward motion. And a good lift for Katie on platform 1 with 80 keys. So Matt coming in with 175 as his third attempt. And Denise on platform 1 with 80 keys as her second. Oh, and unfortunately it was just a little bit too heavy. All right, and for both lifters, just a little bit too heavy, but that's all right. So Denise still has one more attempt. Matt is done benching for today. And we are on to our second flight on platform 2 with Alex opening up with 90 keys. Sarah Romano on platform 1 taking her second attempt of 92.5. Ah, okay. So now that I've seen a peek, I recognize Sarah's coach. She is still training out of Flight Performance and Fitness in Watertown. Dylan is her coach. He is an awesome individual. If you're ever in that area, give that gym, go check him out. So Dylan is one of the co-owners of Flight. I used to train out of there. He's a fantastic guy. Him and Jared, love them very much. And that was a grind for Sarah. I would have called that was a very good second attempt. Good call. And a good lift for, or I'm sorry, we're getting good lift for Alex. Josh is coming in with his opener of 97 keys. And Emily is, she still went up 5 keys from her opener to her second attempt. Okay, so I think Emily had the boxes in her first one and doesn't have the boxes with the second attempt. If I'm thinking it's the same athlete. And a good lift for Emily. Sometimes it's hard to feel what works. Like if you don't use boxes in training and you're like, oh, you know what? I think I might try them today. Sometimes it just can mess things up a little bit. And okay, got it. So she had smaller boxes for her second attempt. And I think the smaller boxes absolutely worked for her. And we have Reese opening up with 102.5 keys. And platform is ready for Emma with 112.5 keys. She's waved off the lift off, which I do the same thing. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a big fan of lift off, and when they ask me, I'm just like, no, thank you. Grind it, grind it. Nice job, Emma. And a good lift for Emma. And a good lift for Reese. So Dustin and Charles are taking the same weight. Both athletes are taking 125. Charles for his opener, Dustin for his second attempt. That looked like a good lift for Dustin. Yep, and it was. All right, come on, Charles. Speedy. And a very fast technical 125 for Charles. Okay. So David just requested the head referee to speak a little bit louder. Sometimes if it's too loud on the platform where the athletes are competing, it can be really hard to hear the ref. So it is completely okay to ask the ref to either speak a little bit louder or stand a little bit closer. And a good lift for David. Lewis opening up with 127.5. That looked clean. And it was. John taking his second attempt of 182.5. Hao Chen opening up with 150. So John has also requested the boxes. It's great to see because yesterday we didn't have too many athletes request the box or anything like that, and today we are, which it's nice to see the differences in lifting and different techniques that lifters have. Drive it, come on. Get that elbow locked. And a good lift for John. Wow. And a speedy 150 for Hao Chen. Danielle, we are on third attempts on platform 1. Danielle is not opening. She is taking her third attempt of 70 keys. She's done a great job of taking nice, steady jumps between her first, second, and her second and third, going 5 and 5. Brian opening up with 167.5 keys. Oh, all right, and a little bit too heavy for Danielle. And a good lift for Brian. Platform 1 is ready for Jackie to take her third attempt at 72.5. And Max opening with 180 keys. Come on, Jackie. This will be a personal best for Jackie. Drive, come on, get it. Push that arm, come on, get up. Oh, get that other arm, That looked good. Come on, And a good lift for Jackie and a great PR and a perfect example of what we talked about earlier, where her left arm and elbow completely locked out before her right, but she had no downward motion or no more like seesawing type of motion. And so it was still a good lift, a great grind, and that was a awesome PR for her. So we have Denise on platform 1 retaking 80 keys as her third attempt, and Yili on platform 2 opening with 185 keys. Oh, come on. That was a good fight from Denise and a great lift. That moved very quickly. We are on to second attempts on platform 2. And Caitlin jumping up 2.5 keys to 82.5 for her third attempt. And I hope you guys can hear the chanting. She has her team with her going, Katie, Katie, Katie. Platform 2 is ready for Alex with 95 keys. And a good lift for Caitlin. Drive. Easy second attempt for Alex on platform 2. And Sarah with her third attempt of bumping up 2.5 keys to 95. Come on, Sarah. 209 pounds. Drive. Drive, drive, drive. Come on, Sarah. Come on. All right. So unfortunately wasn't there. We did see her elbows kind of flare out. So that might have just like made one muscle a little bit less locked in than it really should have been. And that's all right because she is still on the board, still rocking and rolling. Josh taking his second attempt on platform 2 with 100 keys. This is round 220. And Emily with her third attempt. Ooh, clean. I wonder if he got... Okay, he did. We can't hear everything in the back here, so I wasn't too sure if he got the press command, but he got it. Oh, drive, Emily, drive, drive, drive. And unfortunately, no lift for Emily. Reese taking his second attempt at 110 keys. And Emma getting ready to take her third attempt of 115. So that is 253 pounds. Come on, Reese. And a smooth 110 from Reese. And unfortunately, no lift for Emma. It's a little bit too heavy. We are waiting for Charles on platform 2 to take 132.5 as his second attempt, and Dustin on platform 1 to take 130 as his third attempt. They almost have their lifts coordinated. So let's see if they get the bench command at the same time. Ooh, come on. Go, Dustin, go. Drive. Unfortunately, no lift for Dustin. Got stuck. There is like sticking points when it comes to bench, and he just got stuck in that sticking point. And a good lift for Charles. David taking 135 for his third attempt. Lewis on platform 2 taking 132.5. All right, come on, David. Drive. That was a very clean 135 from David. That is 297.62 pounds. And a good lift for Lewis. We have John jumping up 2.5 keys to 185 for his third attempt. Hao Chen taking 160 for his second attempt. Wow, so 185 keys is 407.85 pounds. That is very impressive. All right, come on, John.
I've already punched it out twice. I'll triple check to make sure I'm not right.
Let's go. Oh, oh, come on. Push, 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 push. Get that elbow. Come on. Keep pushing. Keep pushing, keep pushing. All right, so we did see that downward movement. And unfortunately, there was no lift for John. So we can see Hao Chen has a very deliberate sink when he puts the bar to his chest. And the difference between a sink and a heave is he isn't then, when he gets the press command, he's not almost pushing the bar lower to then push it up high. He is really controlling it, letting it sink in to prove that it is on his chest, and then just driving it up. All right, so we have platform 1 is complete for deadlift for today. I'm sorry, I'm reading the board. They are all done with bench for today. They are getting ready for deadlift. So I'm going to switch just to platform 2 so we can look here. So platform 1 is already on that 10-minute timer. They will be starting in 10 minutes. Platform 2 is finishing up their final bench attempts now. And then they will have their own 10-minute timer. So this is to allow all athletes to have the ability to warm up and feel ready. Come on, Brian. Okay, so I'm not too sure what happened for Brian there, but see, he still has his second attempt. Max's second attempt of 192.5. $192.5. That's 424.39 pounds. That was a very fast descent, but moved very, very quickly and was a good lift for Max. Yuli taking his second attempt of 205 keys. That is 451.95 pounds. Yuli seems like he's like very composed when it comes to his lifting. And I love seeing how different lifters lift, how they approach the platform and get ready to go. So yesterday we saw a lot of lifters that like to get amped, like kind of bounce around a little bit, things like that. We saw a couple lifters today who yell, who attack the bar, getting into their setup. And a good lift for Yuli. And we are officially on to third attempts. So Alex is taking his third attempt of 100 keys. This will be a PR for Alex. He hit a PR on his second attempt, but this will be a huge PR if he hits this. Yep, and so this is exactly what must be a little bit telepathic today. We can see Alex likes to get himself hyped up, ready to go. He needs the crowd cheering, which is great. I love when the crowd is really supporting the athletes. All right, let's go, Alex. Drive. That looked like a good bench. And it was. Great job, Alex. That was a huge PR. He is hyped. I would be too. Josh taking his final attempt of 105 keys. Josh is part of Team Blueprint Strength, and he trains out of Outlift Athletics. This will also be a PR for Josh. Come on, Josh. So what I love about this angle when we start to get into the individualized screens, come on Josh, push, is you can see our side refs will, and unfortunately no lift for Josh, you can see our side refs will have their hands up until they see that the athlete's bum is on the bench. So when you go to unrack the weight, you do not need to have your bum on the bench. You can unrack however you feel like you need to feel ready. You can, like, we saw a couple athletes yesterday that used their hands and used the rack to help them get their back into the bench and feeling that arch. But once your back and your bum are on the bench, that is when you will be officially given the calls. So hopefully we can see it with Reese, who's about to take 115 for his final attempt. So you can see his bum is off. He got the lift off. We have our ref's hand up in the air. Once his bum is down, that's secure, the hands go down, and he is given the press command, or the start command. And a new rule to USAPL pretty recently is you do not need to have your head on the bench. So if your back and your bum are on the bench, that's the only points of contact that are necessary. I know some lifters might lift their head just like getting a little bit of tension. Everybody lifts differently. Personally, I keep my head on the bench. Charles taking his third attempt of 137.5. All right, come on, Charles. Charles is part of SSS powerlifting team. Ooh, that was a fast third attempt. And a good lift. He is hyped. That is a PR for him. A big one, about 2.5 keys. All right, we have Lewis, who took a 5-key jump to 137.5. He is part of Team Basement Barbell, and he's from Rhode Island. This is going to be a 2.5 kilo PR for Lewis. Okay, and unfortunately a little bit too heavy, and that's okay. He is still on the board. He still has the 132.
Make sure to give yourself a break. Just, it's okay to.
All right, and we are on to Hao Chen, who has his third attempt of 162.5 keys. So Hao Chen is part of Team OBC, and I believe that's Odyssey Barbell Club. I could be wrong though, so I apologize if I am wrong. He's from Lebanon, New Hampshire. All right, come on, Hao Chen. If he makes this lift, it will put him from 5th place to 4th place in the men's rock guest. That moved very fast. It is a good lift. So Brian is retaking his second attempt as his final attempt of 175 keys. This would be a 2.5 kilo PR for Brian. He's very controlled. Come on, drive. And unfortunately, no lift. He is still on the board with his opener. So he's still in the meet. We have Max. He went up 5 keys from his second attempt. So he is now, as his final lift, is going to be taking 197.5.
Yep. Circulate pattern cleared. Sit. I got distracted by Gio. That's fair, baby.
The numbers that these athletes are lifting are it's unfathomable. Unfathomable. Oh man, unfathomable to me. It's very impressive, and I hope you guys are as impressed as I am. And a good lift from Max. Yuli taking 212.5 keys. So Yuli is going to be our last bencher of this session. We do still have a second session this afternoon. And once he completes this lift, we will have a 10-minute timer on platform 2. So platform 1 has been moving a bit faster than platform 2. They might be starting a little bit sooner. And I will pull up the between when that time comes. So 212 keys is a 2.5 kg jump for Yuli. And 468.48 pounds. Ooh. Drive. Oh, and unfortunately it was a little bit too heavy. And that is our last bench of the day. I'm going to go drink some water, and I will see you guys soon. All right, guys, so we are back. Had a quick little break. Platform 1 is getting ready to rock and roll. And deadlift is where the lifters can really have a lot of fun. You're only given one command. You can start essentially whenever you want. It's whenever you feel ready. And as soon as they see your knees locked out and your hips locked out and your shoulders back, you will be given the down command. So we can see on Daria, she has some white powder on her thighs. That's baby powder. And that's to help kind of pull the bar forward or pull the bar up, because if there's any sort of hitching, if it gets stuck on your legs at all, it is considered no lift. She also has the knee-high socks on, so that's because the bar essentially touches from your shins all the way up your legs. You do need to have knee-high socks on. You can have them like a little bit lower, but they can't be significantly lower. You can't have like mid-calves on, and you can't have anything that goes higher than your knees. With an easy opener for Rachel. Samantha opening up with 140 keys. And a good lift for Sam. So you can see Sam was the first lifter so far, but once we get to deadlifts, some of the athletes might decide to take their shirt off, which is completely allowed. Some of them want to flex the biceps, show off the guns, and others like Jalen here. We got the absolutely gorgeous matching set in the purple, so I think her shoes also match. So I love her fit. She's absolutely crushing it. Jalen taking 170 for her opener. There's also different types of grips and stances when it comes to deadlift. So the more traditional ones are like a sumo stance or a sumo deadlift or a conventional deadlift. I had a fun conversation about this yesterday with my co-live stream host, and I hope it's a joke anyway. But a lot of people will kind of be like, it is very much conventional versus sumo deadlifters. Which isn't super necessary. Like we're all doing the same thing. But we have Lainey here who's about to take 185. And what we talked about yesterday was sumo lifting or sumo deadlift seems to be a little bit more technical in the sense where you need to make sure everything is locked in and that all tension, like all the muscles need to be super, super tight before you can even rip the bar off the ground. And if one thing feels off, it's a little unlikely that you'll get the bar off. While with conventional, it does seem like you're able to kind of get away with a little bit more, where if something doesn't feel fully right, you're still able to get the bar off. We have Benjamin, who just took 212.5 for an easy opener. He had some fun socks on too. Susan taking her second attempt of 130 keys. Good lift. So you can see Susan also has a little bit of a wider grip. I wouldn't fully call it a snatch grip, but her hands are a little bit wider compared to others when she does her deadlift. And that just helps certain muscles get engaged. Daria taking her second attempt of 135 keys. And that looked like a good lift for Daria. She does a little bit of a sumo deadlift, as you can see. Her feet are externally rotated and outside of her shoulders, which essentially like are what define a sumo versus conventional. Um, Regardless of what you pull, though, your knees still need to be completely locked out, your hips still need to be completely locked out, and you need to have your shoulders back. You need to be at full extension for the lift to count. We have Rachel taking her second attempt of 147.5 keys. That looked like a good lift for Rachel. And unfortunately, it was a no lift, so she got a blue card on that. And blue on deadlift means that there was, it didn't look like she had any downward motion, but if she supported the bar on her thighs while pulling up, so if she kind of like heaved it backwards, for lack of a better, I wish I could. I'm much better with my actions than my words, so I'm over in the back here demonstrating what a heaving deadlift looks like, and you guys can't see me. So clean second attempt from Sam. And platform is ready for Jalen to take 180 keys for her second attempt. Our second platform is going to be starting in about 2.5 minutes. Jalen locking her feet in to make sure that they stay stable on the floor. That was beautiful. Yep. And she knew it. She any other business. Wow, 195. Wow. So Lena is taking 195 as her second attempt. That is 429.9 pounds as a second attempt. That's what these female lifters are so strong. So one thing that we haven't talked about yet as well is the different hand grips that athletes can have when it comes to deadlift. So Lena has a double overhand grip. From this angle, we can't tell if it's a hook grip or just double overhand. Hook grip is becoming very, very popular. And essentially what that is you wrap your fingers around the bar and then around your thumb on the other side of it. So you're essentially locking onto your thumb. Um, and it works really well for some lifters. I'm not, I'll stick with my switch grip, but other people like it a lot. There's also the switch grip, which Ben is doing right here, where one hand is overhand, one hand is underhand. And he made 222.5 look like nothing. And we are already on to third attempts for our first flight on platform 1. I realized I missed Susan's first attempt, so I apologize for that, but I mean, we know she got it. It was a super lightweight for her. It probably flew off the ground, no issues. So great job, Susan. She crushed her second attempt, and you know what? She's probably going to crush her third. So Susan is a master 3, which is very impressive. And the athletes had the ability to give a quote that that they like or resonate with, and Susan's was "Know yourself."
Just keep your hands.
Come on, drive, drive, drive. All right, and unfortunately the hand grip wasn't there, but she still did a great job, had a great day. And Mike on platform 2, opening up the flight with a clean 115. Khalil opening up with 177.5 keys on platform 1. Daria taking her final attempt of 145 keys. This is 5 kilos heavier than her personal best. Come on, Daria. All right, and you can see Daria wanted to adjust her belt. It didn't feel right to her, and she checked the clock first to make sure she had enough time to do so. Big pull. Come on, Daria. And a good lift for Alil. Good opener. Oh, she is hyped. I would be too. That was a beautiful lift and a good lift. So Daria finished in second place in her weight class in her division. Ian opening up with 205 keys. Rachel retaking her second attempt of 147.5. So Rachel's quote is, "Work hard, be kind, and amazing things will happen." And I think that's an awesome quote. That's a very happy vibe quote. And a clean lift for Ian. That moved very well off the ground. That looked very good for Rachel as well. And the refs think so too. Congratulations. She finished first for first in her weight class division. Finnegan opening up with 215 keys. Samantha's final attempt of 170 keys. Come on, Finn. My gosh. That moved very fast. Sam using a switch grip. She gets nice and low. That was a clean 170. And 3 white lights. Anthony opening up with 240 for his open. Opening with his opener. Jalen taking 190 for her third attempt. Ooh. And a good lift for Anthony. Crowd is going wild for Jalen. And she's smiling. She's having fun. Come on, Jalen. Drive. Get up, get up, get up. Get those shoulders back. Get those shoulders back. Lock in. And she's smiling. She got it. She is hyped. Matt taking 247.5 keys as his opener. You know, that's what I love about deadlift. It's you, but at this point in the meet, you can have fun. Like, I feel like a lot of the hard work is done. A lot of people love deadlift. All you gotta do is really pick the bar up. And Matt with another American record as his opener. Lane taking 205 keys as her final attempt. Kanya opening up with 250. Come on, Lane. Get up, get up. Drive. Oh, come on. Push, push, come on. Oh. You know what? She's happy with it. I would be too. That was quite a fight. And Ben finishing up the flight on platform 1 with a 235. Kanya pulling 250, like an empty bar, and casual business for him. And we are on to second attempts on platform 2. Ben taking 235. He comes in on business. Come on, Ben. Get it up. Big pull. Oh, come on. And unfortunately, no lift for Ben. So Ben got a red card, which on deadlift, it's failure to lock your knees or failure to stand erect with back and shoulders back. So from our angle, we can only see so much. I think what I saw was it didn't look like he had his shoulders fully back, but it could have been his knees. And we are on to our second flight on platform 1. So Danielle is opening up at 125 keys. We have Alil taking his second attempt at 187.5 keys. And a clean opener for Danielle. And trying to see Alil's belt, that looks like a pretty sick belt. I'm pretty sure there's flames on it. And a good second attempt. Ian taking his second attempt at 220. He's on Team Chunky Monkey with a gorilla emoji out of Portland, Connecticut. And he trains out of Lightning Fitness. I've heard very good things about Lightning Fitness. Jackie with a solid opener of 125 keys. Ian with a clean second attempt. Denise opening up with 145 keys. Platform 2 getting ready for Finn with 230 keys. And a speedy opener for Denise. Katie getting ready to take 157.5 keys as her opener. So Katie's favorite lift is her deadlift. So I am very excited to see what number she puts up. And that was a good lift for Finnegan with 2 out of 3 white lights. He got a yellow card, which means he may have stepped his feet backward or forward or like moved laterally a little bit. And a solid opener for Katie. Matt taking his second attempt at 255 keys. And platform 1 getting ready for Emma with a 160 as her opener. And another record for Matt, solid second attempt. All right, come on, Emma. Yeah, easy. Anthony with his second attempt of 255 keys on platform 2. And platform 1 is getting ready for Emily with 170 keys as her opener. That's a very impressive opener. 175 is around 386 pounds. Come on, it. And a good second attempt from Anthony. And a clean opener from Emily. Deadlift moves so fast too as well. Like once you're out there, you really just need to yank the weight and there's not too much else to worry about. Sarah on platform 1 opening up with 177.5 keys. Kanya on platform 2 with his second attempt of 270. Wow. And an easy lift for both athletes on the platform. And we are on to third attempts on our deadlift on the second platform for the first flight. So Mike is from Maine, so he's come down for this meet. David with a solid opener of 205. All right, come on, Mike. We've seen a couple athletes do this now, so you can do a little bit of a rock with the bar if you would like, where you can rock the bar away from you and then rock it towards you. This would help like engage your lats before pulling up. You cannot pull the bar off the ground and then put it back down to pull the bar off again. Dustin taking his opener of 210 keys, and Alil with his final attempt of 197.5. And a clean opener for Dustin. So the other thing about deadlift as well is you need to stay with the bar through the entire motion. It can, if you've pulled it and it's a PR for you, it can be really exciting. Sometimes it can be so exciting that you drop the bar at the top just because you're hyped, and that's an automatic DQ. You need to stay with it and having a controlled downward motion as well, to the best of your ability. And that was a great third attempt from Alil. We have Finnegan with his final attempt of 232.5 keys. John opening up with 220. A solid opener. So this would be for for Finnegan. This would be 2.5 keys over his personal best. Danielle taking her second attempt of 137.5. And a good lift for Danielle. All right, I'm not too sure where Finn is. If he has about 10 seconds to make it to the platform. But we've already talked about this before. Sometimes if you either injured yourself on a previous lift or you don't feel like it's worth it, like maybe some people aren't here to try and get the win. They're just here to qualify for nationals or anything like that. And so Finnegan did time out of his third attempt. So Jackie taking 137.5 as her final, as her second, and Ian taking a 12.5 key jump for his third attempt. His quote is, "You only got one shot, don't miss." So come on, Ian, don't miss. And he didn't. That looked clean. I would say 3 white lights, and the judges do too. Denise taking her second attempt of 155 keys. Light work. Matt taking 262.5 kilograms. So his quote is "Zero the hero, cannibal corpse." I think that might be a song. I'm not too sure. But Matt's absolutely crushed this meet. He's done a lot of records and unfortunately did not have it in the tank for 262. But he got a record with the 255. Katie on platform 2 taking her second attempt of 167.5. That looked good. And it was. Anthony with a final attempt of 270 keys. Come on, get it up, get it up. And a good lift for Anthony. And Emma taking her second attempt of 175 keys. Come on, Emma, pull, pull, pull. Get up. Oh, okay. And unfortunately, a little bit of a hitching and a failed movement with that. So Emma did not get her second attempt. Kanya taking his third attempt at 280 keys. Come on. Emily taking her second attempt of 185. Come on, Kanya. That was very impressive. Kanya's favorite lift is deadlift. I think he may have been, based on his reaction, I wonder if he was expecting more from himself. That 280 keys is a fantastic number to hit, especially as a teen lifter. I am very, very impressed with him. Sarah with her second attempt of 192.5 keys. And we are starting our second flight on platform 2 with Josh, who is going to be opening at 175 keys. David taking his second attempt of 220, easy opener for Josh. Alex opening up with 185 keys. And a clean 220 from David. Dustin taking his second attempt of 222.5. So Alex looks to be a true sumo. We can see he has a very wide stance. And a clean opener with 2 white lights. Dustin with a very solid second attempt. And it's good. Lewis opening up on platform 2 with 192.5 keys. Lewis has a nice slow and controlled downward motion as well. John taking his second attempt of 227.5 keys. Charles opening up with 207.5 on platform 2. Come on, John. Get it up. Now, it might just be the light, but I don't know if John has baby powder. And unfortunately, it was a no lift for blue card, which probably means they saw a little bit of heaving. Yeah, so that's supporting the bar on your thighs. But what I was just saying is it doesn't really look like John has baby powder on his legs. And that could absolutely be affecting his lift a bit. And honestly, very brave of him. I don't think I would ever attempt a deadlift in a singlet without baby powder on. Danielle taking her third attempt of 145, trying to get the crowd hyped. Her quote is, "It's either now or never. I will always choose now over never." So let's see it. Come on, right now. And that is a great lift for Danielle. She seems hyped. She seems proud. Yep, there it is. She is very happy. And Reese opening up with 210 keys. Platform is ready for Jackie to take her third attempt of 145 keys. And a good opener for Reese.
There's probably some men who've got baby powder in there somewhere. There you go. Great.
Come on, Jackie. Get up. Yeah, so you can see Jackie has a good lean back, which a lot of lifters, and unfortunately it was no lift. She had a little bit of a bounce at the top, and I'm wondering if she lost her extension for a second. So Max has an opener of 250 keys, and Denise is coming to take her third attempt of 160.
That's PR. Oh, PR.
And the clean opener from Max. Denise is smiling. I love it. Come on, Denise. Right up. Yep, grind it, grind it. Come on. Push. Get those hips up. Okay. We'll see what the refs say. And unfortunately, no lift. Yeah, I think we saw it a little bit too. She did have a little bit of a hitch. But she, you know what, she got a lot done and was very, very impressive. Hao Chen is opening with 255 keys. And Emma is retaking her second attempt of 175. So Emma's quote is Micah 7:7, which is a biblical passage. Let me see if I can pull it up in time for her to do her lift. So it's a Bible verse, and it's, "But as for me, I will look to the Lord. I will wait for God of my salvation. My God will hear me." So it's steadfast. It's a message of steadfast hope and unwavering faith. And come on, Emma. Yeah, unfortunately, we just lost the grip a little bit with that one. Brian opening up with 280 keys. Bars loaded for Brian. And bars loaded for Katie for her final attempt. And Katie has maybe one of my favorite quotes today. It's "Everything's gnarly." So, it's like, yes, it is. It's like, come on. And unfortunately, no lift for Brian. So the great thing as well about USAPL is you have the ability to ask referees why they may have not given you the white light. Come on, Katie. That was a fight. Let's see what the refs think. And unfortunately, it was no lift. She did have a little bit of a hitch, which we kind of saw on that left side. She started to use her quad a little bit to help hike the bar up. And the refs saw that too, and so she did get called.
They were right by the door.
Emily with a final attempt of 187.5 keys. This is 2.5 keys over her personal best. That looked like a good lift, and it was. So congrats to Emily for that. Sarah Romano is about to take 200 keys. That is 441 pounds. That is insane. Josh getting ready to take his second attempt of 185. Come on. And that looked like a good lift for Josh. Come on, Sarah, lock out. And a good lift for Sarah. She is hyped. That is a huge PR for her. That is a 7.5 kilogram PR. And we have Dustin, who's getting ready to take his third and final attempt of 230 keys. And the bar is loaded for Alex on platform 2 with 195 keys for his second attempt. And a good lift for Alex. All right, come on, Dustin. Big pull. Drive it, drive it, drive it. Come on. Lock out. Get those shoulders back. That looked like a grind for Dustin, I think, and a good lift. Well done. And for our final lifter on platform 1, we have David. So they are getting the bar ready for him. Oh, I apologize. We have John first. So John is about to take his final attempt. This is to match his PR. So this is his final attempt of 235 keys. We have Lewis on platform 2 about to take 202. John's quote is lift heavy stuff to stay healthy. He did say a different word besides stuff, but I'm sure you can guess what that is. And you know what? That's a very valid quote. Come on, John, push. All right, and unfortunately it was a little bit too heavy, but he did get his opener, so he did finish the meet, which is very exciting. And David, who is our final lifter on platform 1, taking the same weight. And his quote is, "For us, there is only the trying. The rest is not our business." That's a nice quote. I like that one. And a good lift for David. Charles with his second attempt of 222.5 keys. All right, and so that is platform 1 done for this morning. There is another session happening this afternoon. And so I am going to bounce over to platform 2 so we can focus solely on that platform. So we have Reese, who is getting ready to take his second attempt at 225 keys. Reese is part of Team Hogan and is from Maine. That looked like a clean lift for Reese. And it was. All right, we got Max, who's getting ready to take his second attempt. Bar is loaded and ready for him with 252.5 keys. So this is a 2.5 key jump for Max. He has about 30 seconds to get onto the platform, and he may or may not make it. We've talked about this a couple of times, where sometimes the athlete will just let the clock run. He only did a 2.5 key jump, so I'm wondering if he maybe is just calling it at 250. He's had some crazy numbers today, or he doesn't care for the 2.5 key jump and wants to jump higher for his third attempt. I know everybody's a little bit different. My coach in specific, he doesn't really think a 2.5 key jump is worth it for deadlift, just because unless you're like pulling for the win or something like that, you kind of want to go up either like at least 5 keys, just to really feel it. So we have Hao Chen, who is going up 15 keys for his second attempt. He is about to pull 270, so that is 529 kilograms. Hao Chen Wu trains out of Plotkin Fitness. He's slow and controlled. He really takes his time. And a good lift for Hao Chen. So we have Brian, who is retaking his opener of 280 keys. Brian trains out of Plainville Strength and Conditioning in Connecticut. All right, so this is 617 pounds. That is so impressive. And moved very well. Very, very well. So move like an opener, which we would expect because it was his opener. And we really with the final second attempt of the flight with 305 keys. And that is 672.41 pounds. And it was a good lift for Yuli. All right, and we are on to the third and final attempts for the morning, which is very exciting. These spotters and loaders have been busting their butt. These lifters are tired. They've been here since early. So volunteers had the ability, so some of them had to get here at 6:30 a.m. this morning, with registration for athletes opened at 6:45. So some of these athletes have been here for 5 hours. So Josh's quote is, "Nothing upsets me more than a want that I do not take action for." And that was a good lift for Josh. So he finishes the day with 192.5 keys. Alex taking his final attempt at 205. He's getting hyped. Crowd is getting hyped. 205 is 452 pounds. Come on, Alex. Come on. Ooh, ooh. Okay, and unfortunately no lift, and honestly I think it is because he fell. There's just a little bit too much baby powder on the platform. His feet slipped, which we saw, and unfortunately he fell backwards. But I think he had it. He just had a little bit too much focus on that extension. All right, Lewis with his final attempt of 210 keys. His quote is, "The best chance you have if you want to rise to the top is to give." Uh-oh. I can't see the whole thing. I apologize. No, he has a good quote, and unfortunately, he did not get his third attempt. I'm sorry. So his was, "The best chance you have if you want to rise to the top is to give yourself up to loneliness, fear nothing, and something else." So I unfortunately missed that, and that's okay. So Reese, we are getting the platform ready for Reese. And cleaning up the bar a little bit just because you don't want the other individual's chalk to be on the bar when you're trying to pull, just because too much chalk can make the bar really sticky or it could affect the knurling, so that the non-shiny part, so the part that looks a little bit like scratched up, there's like small teeth in the bar that will really help dig into your calluses and help you really grip your hands into it. So Reese is pulling 235. This is 518 pounds. And that looked very good. That was a great third attempt. Honestly, I would say he maybe had a little bit more in the tank, but like we said before, people come with different goals when they come to a meet. And if he looked pretty hyped, so he probably hit the goals he had. So bar is loaded for Charles at 237.5. His quote is, "Gotta eat big to get big." So he has an awesome jump. I am very excited for this. Big pull. Okay, and unfortunately, maybe just a little bit too heavy. But he finishes the day pretty well. He got his second attempt, which was great. I think that was still a PR for him. All right, so bar is loaded for Hao Chen with 295 kilograms. That is 650 pounds. This is a massive PR for Hao Chen. And his quote is, "Be water, my friend." All right, come on, Hao Chen. He's trying to pull all the tension out of that bar before he starts to rip it off the ground. So, especially when you get to the top of your deadlift, you really don't want any whip in the bar, and unfortunately, a little bit too heavy for Hao Chen. But yeah, when you're pulling a deadlift, you really don't want any whip in the bar once you hit the top, just because that can cause some issues, and we absolutely don't want that. Especially if it wiggles too much, it could change your center of balance. It can get you to hitch when you don't intend to. And it also helps with how much tension you really need to drive through your legs. So you want to make sure you're pulling all the tension out of the bar before you even get it off the ground. And it's best if you're able to do that with just your hands, cool. Really just like getting everything locked in and ready to go. So Brian just took a 20-kilogram jump from his second attempt / opener to his third attempt. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. And let's see what the refs think. And that was a good lift for Brian. That was very impressive. And with our final deadlift of today, we have Yuli going with 325 keys. So this is 716.5 pounds. And if he makes this will bring him from second place into first place in the men's raw guest division. Yeah, so he's pulled the bar back, and I think it honestly is because of the baby powder issue that we saw earlier today. You can see it on the platform a little bit, and like it's par for the course. So Yulik gets very low with his deadlift. He is driving, driving, driving. That looked, you know what he knows? He's hyped. That looked like a good lift, and it was a good lift. So we finished the day with an insanely good deadlift. All the athletes did extremely well. This was very impressive first session. We are all done for the morning. We have our second session starting later this afternoon. If you are just tuning in for the morning, thank you so much for listening, Beat. It's been a great day, and have a wonderful rest of your weekend.